MPP Kevin Holland says his government's proposal to merge the LRCA with agencies in the South isn't a done deal. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ryan Benazzo. The Thunder Bay Atikokan MPP says he's already spoken with Todd McCarthy, Ontario's Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, about the proposed amalgamation that's left some people in this region scratching their head. The proposal would see the Lakehead Region Conservation Authority combined with agencies in southern Ontario on the other side of Lake Huron to form the new Huron Superior Regional Conservation Authority. Holland insists the government recognizes how different northwestern Ontario's watershed is compared to the south, and that he and his colleagues plan to sit down with the LRCA to decide what's best for our region.
I think, since I've been elected, a big part of my role has really been about making sure the realities and circumstances of Northern Ontario are being understood, and that's no different in this situation. So, like I said, I've already had those conversations with the minister, and I'm quite confident that he is very open to having those conversations, and he's committed to making sure that we're doing the right thing for Northern Ontario.
He reiterates his government is committed to doing right by our region. The Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks is accepting public feedback through December 22nd. Well, the Ontario government is providing more than $3 million to a pair of local institutions to help train people up in some high-demand fields. Kevin Holland announced the funding today for construction programs at Confederation College and Lakehead University's nursing program. Jessica Clement has the details.
To meet the demand for more skilled trades, Confederation College is receiving over $2.2 million from the province to expand enrollment in construction-related programs, including welding and carpentry. The investment is expected to help train over 260 additional students, giving them more opportunities to build careers right in the region.
When you get into some of our apprenticeships, they're often within the northern communities. They want to stay in the north and do their apprenticeship in the north. In terms of our technology programs, it does vary, but we have the vast majority are from northwestern Ontario. So we would see that they would stay in northwestern Ontario, and there's a lot of opportunity in terms of employment here, not only with industry, but mines that are in huge demand for employees as well.
At the same time, the province is investing over $800,000 to expand nursing enrollment at Lakehead University. The funding will create more seats for nurse practitioners, registered nurses, and registered practical nurses, and is part of a province-wide push to have 2,200 new nursing professionals by 2029.
This is absolutely wonderful news for Lakehead and for our nursing program, but more importantly for the City of Thunder Bay and the region of northwestern Ontario. Nurses are the backbone of our healthcare system, and I think particularly so in the north and in more rural and remote regions of the north.
Thunder Bay Atikokan MPP Kevin Holland says the two funding announcements will help train students for high-demand jobs that are needed as northwestern Ontario continues to grow.
To have that training right here in the north, it allows that opportunity for us to train the people from the north, and the whole idea behind that is then that if they're from the north, they train in the north, they're going to stay in the north and fill those jobs that we need as we see our economy and our communities continue to grow.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
A Grassy Narrows First Nation man who was found dead after being reported missing in Kenora nearly 3 weeks ago is now officially a homicide victim. 21-year-old Mackay Pelly Scott's disappearance was reported on October 26th. Kenora OPP initially charged 24-year-old Terrence Cherry of Kenora with committing an indignity to a dead body, but he's now accused of first-degree murder. Police have also charged a second person, 43-year-old Una Cherry, as an accessory after the fact. Both remain in custody ahead of a court appearance in Kenora on December 4th. Anyone with information about the case is urged to contact Kenora OPP or Crime Stoppers. Fort Frances OPP seized about $1 million worth of cocaine during a traffic stop last weekend after they say officers observed some unusual driving behavior. That happened just before 3:30 on Saturday morning. Police seized 11 kilograms of suspected cocaine inside the vehicle. Two Winnipeg residents, a 59-year-old and a 37-year-old, now face charges of trafficking and possessing stolen property. The pair remain in custody pending a future court appearance. Trees are now being removed from the site of Thunder Bay's temporary shelter village, but a local homelessness advocate says that progress is cold comfort to those who may not survive another winter without a place to stay. According to the city, only select trees are being removed to support necessary grading and drainage requirements. Others will be maintained as a buffer wherever possible. But the shelter units aren't expected to be in place until the spring. Elevate NWO's executive director, Holly Govan, says months of political delays selecting and approving the site come at the expense of people's lives. She notes one person has already died of hypothermia so far, and winter hasn't even begun.
My staff go home every day feeling sick. It's really hard to drive away at the end of the day, knowing that we may not see some people in the morning. These aren't just numbers to us. These are people whose stories we know. These are people that many of us have actually grown up with in the city and who've fallen on hard times. And, you know, now we worry about whether or not they're going to survive the night. Yeah, it's a dreadful position to be in, and I really feel it didn't have to be this way. We spend so much time worrying about where this place was going rather than getting it done.
In the meantime, Elevate NWO is purchasing ice fishing shacks to give people some form of shelter. Govan calls that a really dreadful solution, but the best that they can do at this time. The latest numbers from the Lakehead Social Planning Council indicate there are at least 652 people experiencing homelessness in Thunder Bay, but the LSPC believes that number is actually significantly higher. Well, the smell of freshly brewed coffee and baked goods has returned to a space that's been vacant for a number of years. The popular Sweet North Bakery has added a third location attached to the Indigo bookstore. Max Silverstein was there as the doors opened on day one and brings us more about a local business success story.
Sweet North Bakery is once again expanding. The local cafe is taking over the formerly vacant space attached to the Indigo bookstore. Owners Aaron and Chris DeLorenzi have been working towards this for about a year now and can't believe the day has finally arrived.
It's surreal. It doesn't feel real, really, because we've been working so hard at preparing the space, and it felt like this day would never come, and now it feels like all of a sudden it's here, even though it didn't happen overnight. So I think my word would be surreal.
Especially since their family has been coming to this spot since long before this move was in the works.
Growing up with our children, we were here all the time, and so actually to be on this side of things is it's just a great opportunity.
The shop was busy on day one with customers eager to try the drinks on Sweet North's special holiday menu, and happy that there's finally a coffee shop attached to the bookstore once again. As for the employees, they want all of their customers to have a sweet day. Max Silverstein, TBT News.
It'll be a happy holiday season for hundreds of children in the area thanks to Delico's annual Christmas Wish campaign, which is underway once again this year. The campaign encourages people to pick up a red bag that includes the holiday wish list of one child in the region. Those bags are then filled and given to the children to open on Christmas Day. Last year, around 800 bags were distributed. This year, in an effort to make the campaign even bigger, Delico Anishinaabeg Family Care has partnered with the Children's Aid Society, which has run its own similar program in the past. CAS's Carmela Hardy says that partnering with Delico is a win-win.
With the Wish Bag, we can reach out to more children. So we would have, let's say, a couple hundred families we'd reach out to in the city and district. With the Wish Bag, we can reach out to over 400 children just with the Children's Aid Society alone. So knowing that we can be inclusive with all children and families in the city and district of Thunder Bay, we wanted to partner to be able to reach out to more children.
It makes it even bigger and better. So we're looking forward to seeing 1,200 bags filled this year and 1,200 children and families receive gifts, and for them to receive those gifts on Christmas Day, and just to hopefully see even more smiles on children's faces on Christmas Day.
Those interested in filling up a wish bag can sign up online or pick one up at various locations around the city, including Dalico's Fort William First Nation headquarters. 10 remarkable youth leaders from across the region were honored on Fort William First Nation today at Dalico's 15th annual Step Up Awards ceremony. They recognize those who've gone above and beyond to make a difference in their schools, families, and communities. Joey Langdon was there.
The Step Up Kids Awards for 2025 were presented at the Fort William First Nation Community Center during the annual Dalico Powwow. The awards honor the kids who are helpers, leaders, dreamers, and changemakers in the community and celebrate the shared responsibility of Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities to ensure that all kids grow up safe and supported. This year's winners ranged in age from 6 to 16. Dalico's Audrey Sachin says it's important to recognize those in our communities who make a difference, no matter how young they are.
I think that our recipients, when they get this award, they have the ability to be proud of their own self, to be able to speak their truth, and to be able to shine in a community that doesn't always maybe acknowledge the differences that they make.
The award winners were recognized for their achievements in a whole range of different disciplines, from education to leadership to athletics.
It's because, for me personally, I lost my language a couple years ago due to mental health and all that, which it sucks so bad. And now I have a little sibling. He goes to St. Joe's in Joton, and they have no Ojibwe teacher. So I've been stepping up and I've been talking to him in Ojibwe because I don't want him to feel that feeling that he lost his nationality and all that. I don't want him to lose his language like how I did.
I want them to know me as a good friend and a good person in the community and stuff.
I think it's important for Indigenous kids to try out for football because you never know if you're going to like something, because if you don't try something you're not sure about, you're never going to know if you don't like it or not.
This year's Step Up Awards were the 15th annual, and Dalico aims to continue the program with the 16th edition this time next year. Joey Langdon, TBT News.
A bunch of young people doing great things in Thunder Bay and the surrounding area. All right, well, let's turn our attention to the weather now. And Fiona, does Mother Nature have great things in store for us?
Well, she has things in store.
That's
whether or not
things.
Whether or not it's great is all dependent on what your priority is. So we've got a little bit of everything moving through today, but all in all in Thunder Bay, it was a beautiful day, well above normal for this time of year. We should be pretty close to the freezing mark during the afternoon today. We topped out at 9 Celsius, and that was even under mostly cloudy skies. Now, winds were very light. They were either completely calm or at times gusting up to 27 kilometers per hour from the east with extra gusts of 36. But for the most part, the majority of the time, it was pretty calm out there. And that was after an early morning low of -5 and a wind chill of -7, which is still a couple of degrees above normal for this time of year. If we take a look at what has been moving through, you can see that there has been, we'll call it rain for the most part. It might be turning to wet snow as the temperatures drop this evening, but it's been moving mostly north of Thunder Bay, kind of surrounding us, which is why we got a lot of cloud, but nothing really fell. To the west, though, some variable skies, and you can see it is developing. It is going to start to be felt overnight tonight, but today, well, we definitely had a mixed bag. So 14 at this hour. They've had variable skies in Fort Frances, actually topped out with a high of 15, not a record, but wow, was that warm for this day in November. And as you head further north, you head into the single digits, 8 Celsius in Red Lake, Kenora, 9 with a fair amount of clouds, a little bit of clear skies here and there. Eastward, temperatures start to drop. Armstrong at 4, 1 in Greenstone. They've had lots of cloud along the North Shore, a little warmer. And Sault Ste. Marie topped out at 8 this afternoon, currently sitting at 5 under mostly cloudy skies. Now, here in the city of Thunder Bay tonight, we are going to stay above the freezing mark. Won't even drop below that. So we have a 60% chance of that system moving through. In our region, though, it's going to be rain. If we see it, it will be rain, not snow overnight, because we'll stay nice and mild. Winds will start out from the east, rotate around by morning, or actually mid-overnight, to come around from the northwest, and it'll be fairly light, 5 to 15 kilometers per hour. So, you know, if you don't want snow, at least we've got the temperatures to sustain rain instead of, so that's a positive. And actually, so far this weekend is not looking too bad, but there is definitely cooler air on the way, and I'll have more details on how much later on in the news hour.
Listen, I just want to make sure that myself and our colleagues aren't going to freeze while we're out at the Santa Claus Parade tomorrow morning. A lot of people will be lining the streets, I'm sure.
I don't think anybody has to worry about freezing, but they might want to bring an umbrella just in case.
All right. Thanks a lot, Fiona.